Well, poop. I am supposed to be streaming. I just looked up from work and realized it is 8 p.m. All right, let's get the stream started. I'll wrap up the work that I'm doing, and then maybe we'll play the game a little bit. Um, yeah. All right. So let me music playing in the background while I wrap this up, and I'll probably blast your ears if I'm not careful. Turn it down a little bit. Pretty loud for me. Thanks for watching the VODs. No idea when this will be up, but thanks for watching it. Glad you guys enjoy it. Cool. Let's see if we can wrap up this work so I can get to playing. Currently working in Fallen Pass still, just because there's so many places here to fill out. So I've been cleaning up this upper terrace area. Terrace, not terraced. This area up here is Upper Stamon. Hey John, it's going well. And so really trying to make sure that these areas, if you played EQ and you found some of those cool like ruined city areas and stuff like that, like especially in like Kunark, there'd be these badass little areas, and there wasn't much there. There wasn't, there probably weren't named. There just wasn't much in. Maybe it was just like a mob field, random roaming mob field, which for the previous playtest, if you guys have been in it, in those, you'll have seen that a lot of what was in here is just placeholder, and it was just big spawn volumes with random wandering volume going on, just so there was something there to potentially kill you. And so what I'm doing now is been coming back through and just getting it to be what it's going to be. And so just this area up here, there's a bunch named. So the inclusion of the named, the inclusion of some little bit more carefully thought out deterministic behavior, things like that, should make it so that a lot of these areas, when you hit them, this is extremely high level here, but a lot of these areas when you hit them, then they feel like little mini zones. Mr. Bruckle, Dan6543, and Snail Juice, what's up? How you guys doing? This is a monster rehab. I didn't have these in rehab. Got mint tea extract, electrolyte, caffeine, my B vitamins for sure. It's probably mainly just going to give me gas. Yeah, be good. What's up, Matthias? Heartburn? No, I don't really get heartburn. It's been a long time since I got heartburn. I used to get heartburn a ton back in the day. Like a lot of drinking, heartburn. So, no drinking, no heartburn. My skin cleared up as well. Not that you guys give a shit, but like, I had these, like, this little rash patch of whatever, whatever, like, some skin condition. Had it on my chest, like, right below my pecs. And, like, special lotions, ointments, all that stuff. Nothing would really get rid of it. Couple 4 months after I stopped drinking last year, just disappeared. Fewer little bumps, all sorts of stuff just went away. Shit just went away. My joints hurt less. But I also CBD gummies and CBD oil is good as well. So I'm not quite sure if it's just a lack of inflammation from the alcohol. I'm not bagging on alcohol. If you like drinking, please have fun. I love it. I just to the point where I was like, maybe not. Not so much anymore. And by not so much, for me, that just means none. But yeah. CBD is awesome. Weird. It's weird that it worked. I thought for sure it'd be bullshit. But yeah, inflammation, man. Sounds like Instagram hipster hippie shit, but it's for real. Be good. You had to stop because of your health? Drinking or CBD? Lemonade tea rehab. You know what, Matthias? I'm gonna have to see if we can track that down. I love the Aussie lemonade. I will say the sugar that I'm consuming is probably... If I could stop that as well, it'd be the bee's knees. Stop drinking, yep. A lot more people are doing it these days. Germany's up to 10% of their beer sales is non-alcoholic. You can find, if you're cool with bottles, you can find pretty much, I mean, there's probably, let's not exaggerate, at least 20 different non-alcoholic beers at my local Reva, the grocery store, the bigger grocery store right here, a couple blocks away. Gotta check out Quinfall. First new MMO you don't hate, Coding Caffeine says. Not in love with the action weapons-based combat yet, but there's a lot to like. Nice. Quinfall. I wonder if I'll remember that. Hold on. Let me open it in a tab. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'd rather have sugar than the artificial flavors. I can't get into, sorry, the artificial sweeteners. Can't get into it as well. I'm just, I was telling the people watching the VOD before you guys got here. I'm wrapping up population work up here in Upper Saman. Cleaning up, I've taken out the big placeholder wander volumes and placeholder population and put in a solid population. Solid handful plus of rares up here. Probably 2 handfuls at least of rares up here if you're counting their named placeholders and stuff. Just putting some rhyme and reason in here. And that's honestly, that's just kind of, that's what's eating up the time, is coming into each one of these big areas and really building them out. Chinny has been doing some propping work in here, and I'll probably help him out a little bit with the propping in this area, since I know, like, oh, this is a bedroom, this is a, you know, whatever, mage's office. This is an accountant's office. I think I put an accountant into, I put an accountant into Chardock. Because they're growing. What was I thinking? I think that there's like a garden there. There's a garden area that's kind of like meant to be a tiny garden area, but also kind of like the kennels. And there's an accountant. So they're growing herbs, and there's an accountant and like some other just sort of like administrative name. It's like a Sarnak accountant or some shit. And then like a Sarnak administrator or something. This was like 2000 whatever, 2003, 2002. Dude, we did that. We did that complete redesign in a weekend. 2 of us, so. Oh, I always forget. I always usually have guys in here from the teams that are really good about. How do I? Okay. I'm so slow on that. Hopefully I banned this right. Cool. You've killed those mobs? Nice. Is aggro range something you can adjust for specific mobs? Yep, we can adjust aggro range, the various aggro ranges. I think there's like 3 or 4 different knobs that we have for aggro. Because there's like forward facing, behind, whether or not pulsing. I'd have to look at the NPC record. I don't really adjust it, just because the predictability is important for the most part. So it would be a pretty rare case, like we're doing something very special with that mob, if we're going to adjust it. Oh, there it goes. Here come the monster hiccups and the monster burps. At least the gas is coming out top and not bottom, so that's good. But anyway, so let me wrap this up, and then we'll see if we can pull a little playtest within the team. Sorry, guys. Need to be quick about that. A little internal team group together. I gotta ask Ollie. I've gotta ask Ollie if we were to do something like, all right, the first 20 respondents here in chat will flag your account to get in. Like, if that worked. It should work. It should work. But yeah, so answered Fish Guts question about aggro. Be Good said I'm from New Orleans. Lush capital of the world. It is definitely strange going sober, being born and raised here. I bet it's kind of tight though. What I find is I like being sober when everybody else is drunk. I feel like a fucking superhero. I feel like the Flash. I feel like Daredevil. I'm so on my game. I'm so quick. Like I can actually see stuff coming. I can see the assholery at distance. Sorry, Nick's mom, if you're out there. John said you can also get the best dirt on people to use as later as the sober one. See, John, that's why I keep an eye on you, man. That's some nefarious ass thinking. I would do that. Talet, hello. Hello, Liz Biscuits. What are you munching? Above that, Be Good mentions White Monster being the only sugar-free been able to enjoy it. Everybody loves those. It's like the cool guy drink. I don't know if you're familiar with Spiritus Systems. They make gear. Combat gear. Their recent like Instagram ads had the dude is rocking a White Monster, and the White Monsters are now called Boomer Juice. Good. The more stuff that's ours that only we can afford and we can flash in the faces of everybody else, the better. We'll drink our Boomer Juice in our big houses. Hey, what's up, Elron? Theron, what's up, buddy? This is Eating Burger and Chip for Takeout Friday. I hope you're enjoying them. John is destined for upper management because he's sketchy like that? Not in our company. No, sir. Homies don't play that. Hey everybody, speaking of badass music, I was just listening to badass music in my earbud. And everybody, send your positive energy and your prayers to our dear friend Robert, who just got done with his tour. They did a little, I think mainly German tour. with one of the bands that he plays with, and he got off tour and he's just sick, which I can imagine if you're touring, it's so easy to get sick. You're running into so many people and stuff. It's not horrible, it's not bad, but still, let's get him recovered and then we'll pile on the Eminem requests. NWC has a strict don't play that policy. We try. I mean, we don't want it to bite us in the ass at some point. Content creators will make videos about, they said don't play the game and now nobody's playing. Haha. But I think we're saying it in a slightly different way. We're saying play the game if you want to play the game, but we're not going to change a bunch of shit just because you're sad. Right? So yeah, let me actually focus and see if I can wrap this up real quick for the evening, and then we can see about playing. If I can get a little group together with the homies here in Slack and play. Sticking to your vision gives you guys mad respect. Absolutely love the perspective of you and the team. Well, you know what? As long as we've got you, we're good. We'll have at least one subscriber. Until we step on yours as well. You're like, everybody says that. Everybody's like, I love it. I love it. You guys are taking no bullshit. You're not changing a thing. I like that about you guys. But if you could please make my insert class slightly better at insert role, that's phenomenal. And then we're like, finally, no, we're not doing that. You guys are sons of bitches. The honeymoon will wear off with everyone at some point. All of you will be out there cursing our names. You sons of bitches. It happens, man. I've been doing this for a bit. I've seen it. I thought you were kidding that I wasn't going to be able to play that race class combo. Hey, Sarenth. Been in a discussion forums and they saying all these fools. Hey, you guys need to be nice in the forums though, in the discords and stuff. You need to be nice, even to people that don't like it. Be nice to them. We're gonna kill them with kindness, and then after we kill them with kindness, they can go get their body, and their spellbook will be on it, and that'll be that. Looks like all the people that went to TwitchCon got sick too. I can imagine. I mean, anywhere there's groups of people. That's why I'm just hanging out with my dog. My wife's not even here. She's in Hamburg with her clinic. They're doing some additional training on implanting teeth into your skull. Teeth and skull implantation. Further training. Mr. Brookle said, thank you to the Eminem team for releasing some of the soundtrack for this game on YouTube and creating a playlist. The song, titled Veil of Zentara, gives me chills with how beautiful it is. I cannot wait until I can visit that area in game. You can do it now. It's still being built, but you can visit it right now. Well, not right now. The next time we let you in. I can visit it right now. How about that? Music created for Eminem really gets your imagination flowing. Love it. Yep, that's our wonderful Robert. Yeah, Liz. People that want to play with their friends who have been playing for 3 years, I mean, they just got to they do it the way we always did it, right? Like, friends need to make some alts, power level them, all that good shit. That's why we're allowing you to power level each other. Yeah, John, sorry. I got to watch my wording. Pineapple pizza was going to be second choice for what you're going to eat. Pineapple pizza is delicious. Hey, Scruffy Bard. Did I miss anybody on the way in? I feel bad that you guys are so bummed that you can't play more. It's almost like maybe we shouldn't have let you play. Maybe we should take it back. We should break you of the habit of thinking you can get in and play and just save it towards the end. Can we get an enhancement to Plane of Meat, like a dummy we can hit to see damage numbers in spellbook? A lot of that I don't think we can do. I might be wrong. A lot of that I don't think we can do because of we don't want to put all of that's on our server, and we don't want to put that on the client. I think I'm not speaking out of school, but like combat formulas and how combat works, and a lot of that information we don't want to put on the client. You'll eat 1,000 pineapple pizzas before having fish on a pizza? Okay, well. Jasmine really likes the tuna onion pizzas that are popular here. I like to put sardines on my pineapple pizza. Thanks, Scruffy Bard. We're still doing a lot of texture work. Kong3627 says, just started following this project a few weeks ago after watching and reading more on it. Really looking forward to trying it out. Hey, welcome. How did you learn about it? Sorry, I'm going to have my little cough all night. I'm going to do something a little sneaky here. We'll see if it winds up working. I don't think I've listened to this new track in this way on stream. I think I've always talked over it since it's been put in. It's kind of punching me in the feels as well. That doo. Robert gets what we're trying to do so much. So much. Like, there are all these little moments. There are all these little moments in his tracks where I'm like immediately transported to being a kid, watching some adventure movie or and he's just such a good guy too. I love that Robert lives in Finland and it's close enough that I can probably hang out with him again. You found the perfect person to do the music for Eminem? Robert found us, man. Robert came to us and was like, hey, I'd like to work on this game with you guys. We're like, oh, and it was weird because when he came to us, we had just, like, I think maybe even that day or within that week, just started talking to another guy who was like, hey, I'd like to do the music for your game. And it's like, I swear, I'll have to go back and find it in Discord. I swear, like the same day, he popped up and was like, I'd like to do the music. I'm like, what? You guys at the same time? And then we went to, he gave us a link to his stuff and it was just, oh shit. And then we started talking to him and he's just such an EQ nerd. He plays so much P99. Like, he'll be on tour and he'll have his laptop in the hotel. I think they were doing a sound check at a festival one year and he like took a picture of his laptop open looking out over where the crowd was going to be, and he was showing like P99. Hold on one second. I'm looking up something in a database so I can try to for the love of goodness. Just finish what I'm doing here so I can maybe play. And I'll answer your questions in a second. I'm literally gonna stop and is this the guy? Did I make a spawn point? Oh, there's a layer there. Okay, I think this is the guy. Let me double check the documentation. And now I'll catch up. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not even looking. It's minimized because I've only got 2 monitors. I'm not so fancy. Boren. It's Boren. Does Boren have it? I made an entry for Boren. Does he have a NPC spawn group or no? I don't think, do I have one? Yeah, there I do. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying again. Hey, what's up, you shoes? Kong, you didn't answer my question. How did you find out about us? Breville Barista Express Y Doubler says if you want to make some espresso daily, it will pay for itself. Well, I'll definitely be using it daily, but if I'm about to open this and it's like a $600 coffee machine, we're gonna have words. $700, and that's not even the European price. Like, you know how much it's gonna cost to get this thing into the country? $700. Yeah. That might happen one of these years if you bring enough of your friends to subscribe to M&M, I guess. I'm on a budget, homie. Can I ask how you guys started the team? Like, how did you all know each other or get started? Hey, Lifewater, Clandakar. And this guy's not a no spawn. He's gonna be triggered. So let's get that set up. Spoiler, but only for you people that are watching right now. This guy is a little different in that he won't actually be there. He should just he'll spawn when she spawns. So that's what I'm doing right now. Take a little extra minute maybe. I mean, I guess I can do all this tomorrow morning over coffee. Since the missus isn't here. That's why they're not showing. I get it now. Because they didn't put plague in front of their name because they're unique. Alright. So cool. You know what? I will do this. I will do this tomorrow. I think I've got everything fairly saved. Those of you who are just rolling in, what my plan for this evening is to get with some of the team guys and maybe play a little bit. Probably more interesting for you to watch. What I've been doing today especially is just coming in here. We had very placeholder giant volumes that are just randomly spawning shit that randomly wandered everywhere. And coming in here and just like base popping it out with the actual named. There's a bunch of named up here if you include placeholders. It should start to feel like an actual place next time you get up here, but hopefully none of you will be able to play this area anytime soon. This is like a level, this is basically like level 50 plus area. Oops, I spoiled that. Now you know. Instead of just conning and it staying red and red and red, now you know. Don't blab. So Be Good, how we started the team was in 2000. Here, I'll have some props for it. So in 2000, I was doing interviews. I had just heard about the TLP server because I didn't know anything about TLPs. If you don't know, I worked on the EverQuest team for a brief period, like 3 or 4 years, in the early 2000s, and then really I just hadn't, I think I logged in once every couple of years or something and looked around, and none of my friends were there, and nobody was hanging out places, and I didn't have any of the latest expansions. I'd log back out. When I was in Sweden, I had just basically just decided to leave the company I was at. And I had some time on my hands. I was in Stockholm, Sweden. The whole COVID mess had kicked off, and we were basically killing some time. I had a year to find a new job. I was looking at some startups and stuff, and I decided to investigate Twitch because I really hadn't watched Twitch much, and when I was watching Twitch, I was mainly watching these guys that worked on a food truck outside of some college in, like, I don't know, Ohio or something. So I was just always hanging out talking to the food truck guys, and I was like, oh, Jasmine, I wonder if anybody's playing EverQuest, because that's that game I used to work on. And so I checked out EverQuest streams, and I ran into a couple of streamers and started talking to them. The person I ran into first, and then a couple more times, actually, he didn't tell me about the TLP. The second guy actually told me about the TLPs, but it was really cool because I'm trying to remember everything right now in the proper order. So it was the person that told me about TLPs. He wound up stopping streaming even a few months after I first talked to him. But his name was Lexus, and he was playing EverQuest religiously. And I think it was Lexus. And so he told me that Aerodune was coming, and said TLP, blah, 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 this is how it rolls out. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of new players and stuff, so it'll feel like the real deal. It's super nostalgic. And so that's what kicked me off, like, that whole period there. Whenever Aerodune kicked off, was like, all right, I asked Jasmine if she wanted to play with me so we could try out playing together, and she could be exposed to playing an MMO and then playing EverQuest and see what she thinks. I think we only played to like 25 together or something like that. And what was the order of events? Oh, and I was like, oh, I might as well stream it. Like, I'd been wanting to figure out streaming. So I was like, I want to stream it, because I had streamed some stuff prior to that as part of exploring Twitch, but I was mainly like playing like Overwatch or whatever. And then there's one detail that, like, I'm trying to remember the specific thing, and it keeps like rattling around in my head. Anyway, so we decided we're going to stream. We play together, we're going to stream, and I started doing that. And then as part of doing that, the first day when we were all in the chat waiting for Aerodune to actually open the servers, which I didn't get in the first day because I was in Stockholm, and so it just got too late, and so I was like, fuck it, go to bed. But while we were waiting in chat, some people I knew from the EverQuest team showed up and were like, hey, what's going on? Saw your streaming. And so it was like Scott Hartzman and Jonathan Carricker, and who is GM Prathen, and a few other people wound up popping in. And so we started talking, and chat was asking him questions and stuff, and people were like, hey, why don't you do interviews with these dudes? And so that was the link earlier. Finally getting to the point. That link. There's like 20, I don't know, something like that, 20 interviews with different people I worked with back in the day. And so that's what kicked that off, was people in chat asking like, hey, first of all, I figured the gimmick of like having worked on EQ and then playing EQ would be interesting for some folks, and it turned out it was for some folks. But then having the interviews and you guys being able to ask people that were on the team questions would be good as well. And so we did that. We did that for quite a while. And that first day that I was waiting for Aerodune server to pop up, Nick popped in and was like, hey, do you know any of the guys from PlanetSide? Because he loves PlanetSide. I was like, yeah, I know some of the PlanetSide guys. And so that's how I met Nick. Like that first EQ TLP stream, I'm pretty sure was how I met Nick. And then we started he would be in here and we started talking about EQ and stuff. Like everybody's talking about EQ and stuff, but we started talking, and then a bit later, we were joking around a lot on stream. Like people were in here, and Bunny was like the first person. She was my first moderator, and so she was on the team for the first year and a half or so. And so we just started talking about what we liked about old MMOs that just isn't, just isn't represented in more modern MMOs. And since I was the expansion lead on Planes of Power, I remember when we were really starting to, change some things, which a lot of you will be like, oh, this broke this and blah, blah, blah. And sure, okay. But it was during that period where we were trying a lot of different mechanics, and we had a lot of pressure on us to make the game more accessible and things like that. And it bugged the shit out of Brad, and he was right about a lot of that stuff. But so I feel like we really started sort of establishing the fork in the road for MMOs to be more modern WoW-like MMOs was probably during that era. The way that we did instancing versus like AO, and plus the popularity of our game versus Anarchy Online, things like that. All that shit came out, during that period. And so we were talking about, okay, what if we had not gone down that path, but that path emerged, but we went down another path? What would that MMO look like? And that became the discussion more and more and more in our stream. And so, everything was a byproduct of the stream, right? Like even things like Niche Worlds Cult as the name. Somebody, I think it maybe was Hashpipe or somebody, made the joke like, why start a company? Because we're like, oh, we'll start a company, we'll make a game. It's like, why start a company if you can start a cult? I think he was the one that said that. It was like, that's fucking brilliant. Okay. So that became the goal. And if you go back to even I found them the other day. If you look at like the DMs that we had, like Nick and I, and then Ollie, when we met Ollie and started talking to him, like just in the first days of talking to these guys, the framework of what we have been doing ever since was put in place. We talked to some other people too. We talked to some programmers I knew from the industry and some other people and a couple other people. Like talked to a lot of people early on about, hey, do you want to be on this team? We're going to make this indie MMO. But it was really meant to be more of like can we show game development and answer some questions and then see if a game emerges from it. Like most people just were like, yeah, it's kind of cool that you're trying, but good luck, have fun. And, which makes sense because what we're trying is kind of crazy. And so then Nick stuck, Ollie stuck. Within the first like week of Ollie being on the team, like didn't have a company yet, wasn't really a team yet. It was just like the four of us at that point. And Ollie had something working in Unity, and And then we've been able to run around in Unity from the first week that we talked in like August, September. I think with Ollie it was probably September. I have to look. But yeah, and that's been the formation of it. So if you're interested in like a detailed kind of breakdown of how all of that evolved and everything that we're doing year to year, if you go to our early access page, you'll actually find in the roadmaps area, development roadmaps and history. If you go to history, it shows you, right, like the evolution of all this stuff. So now you got fools like Zukin who just came in. He's been doing this since 2021, right? That's so year one. It was all placeholder art, capsule people, stuff like that, all placeholder, and some commission stuff. We were spending too much money on like trying to commission shit to figure out our art style, and then 2021 is when we got Pattis and Zukin and John and Gary and Goblin, right? And then that was like, okay, oh man, we're rolling on art, and it just kept evolving, right? So you can run through all this stuff here. Little Squirrel Bait, thank you for the follow. You can kind of see that. So if you go to that page, in the it's linked from the early access. So that's the history. There you go, Be Good. And for anybody that's newer here that hasn't heard that before, that's how we did it. We started out by just doing placeholder art. Like I was making zones and capsules and animations and shit. I was doing a lot of the art. Ollie basically got the game running and playable week one in some form or another. The first zone that was a placeholder test zone is actually playable. It's a mini dungeon in game now. Let's see. Yeah, and so people, some people have come and gone, and some people have come and gone and come back and then gone again. But yeah, we're just continuing to grind it. And if you look at the difference between the way the game worked in 2020 and where it is now, just imagine over the next few years it'll continue to change and improve, and just constant iteration, just grinding away. All right, so I said I'd save this guy. I'll do the rest of my work tomorrow morning. We'll see if we can get a group with the team together. What kind of zone is this? Crazy one. It's this is between Shaded Dunes, which is that way, and Vale of Zintar, which is that way. And then this is it's a zone. It's just got a lot of discrete areas in it. So there's just areas after areas. And I've been saying the last few streams, so sorry if it's getting a bit redundant or whatever. But if you think about like the number of mobs and rares and named and all of that stuff that you'll find in each one of these areas, each area is kind of like it's kind of like a small dungeon, right? Like our points of interest aren't just a little, like this would just be a point of interest, but our points of interest have points of interest. So when people ask like how many zones we're gonna have, it's it's a bit tricky because we've got zones like this, which have probably, I think it's creeping up towards almost a dozen, just in this area, a dozen different, named and placeholders. Let's see. Let me go back and see if I missed anything. Hey, little baked OTP. Let's see. Awesome that old project became a usable zone in this version of the game so far. Shaded Dunes was also one of the original zones back when we only had Shaded Dunes. And mini crypt was just a zone within that zone. You did it by doing it. Nicely done. That is the main way to do things, actually. I've learned. The main way to do things is to do it. 666, that mob is evil. Telet, it is. I'm gonna try something a little silly with him. So he's kind of a mob that assists another mob, so that's why I went ahead and just waited until we hit that number. The main way to do things is do it. I mean, it will sound simplistic and stupid as shit, but think about it. Like, how do you complete a marathon? You run, jog, or walk, and you don't stop. Right? You know how many times we could have quit this project? And I bet you if we were being, if we got people down and we were being honest, and we talk to everybody that's on the team when this thing goes live. And when it goes live, it's just going to be even more work for us. So even then, when it goes live, we really got to do it, because then it's going to get it's going to be tough. The honeymoon's going to be over. A lot of you guys that are friendly are going to be busting our balls. We're going to have all the work that we didn't finish before we went live, plus all the new work that you guys create for us once we go live. But launching an MMO is like having a baby. The work starts when it goes live. Like this idea of like, oh man, I've watched that a few times in the industry where people, I'm watching them work on their MMOs and they launch those MMOs. Teams that were internal at Sony even. And I watch them launch their MMOs and they think they're done. And that is the worst. Like, okay, we're going to take a little break. We just, high five, we just launched. Fuck, what? That is insane. No, you're not. So, Striker 1987 said desperately hoping for another playtest soon. Before the end of the calendar year, for sure. For sure. Even if things are like jacked or whatever, we won't go that long without a playtest. We have to have a playtest before then, just because. But hopefully, it'd be nice if we can do more than one, but whatever. Like, let's see. Yeah, but I don't know where I was going with the other thing. Oh, yeah. So if you were to ask everybody on the team later, like whether or not they've wanted to quit the project at some point, I guarantee you, I would be really shocked if somebody said no, if they were being honest. Like there had to have been at least one day where maybe like some feelings got hurt, or like, fuck, you're just tired over it. Like, one of the things I noticed about this project that's different than other projects, and if you haven't yet, it's coming, Nicodemus. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying, everybody, 99% of the population experiences, is this the right thing? Nicodemus has been flying under the radar, Zukin. But this project, more than any project I've ever worked on in my entire career, weighs on me every single day. There's not a day that's not an M&M day. Even if it's a day at the water park, the day after my dad's funeral, we were a couple weeks ago, we were in the US, and so the whole thing was like this whirlwind 1 week thing. And we were like, we're going to take one day off since we've flown all the way to America. We're going to go at the water park, rent a car, drive up, spend the rest of the time with my stepmother, go through my dad's stuff. Even a day in the water park is an M&M day. Every day is an M&M day. It's always present in a way that no other project has been. So. But the reason why I mention that is because that's the grind, right? Like, a few people have been quoted as saying, you know, that whole like quitting is not an option. I don't think just Goggins either. Like the whole quitting is not an option thing. Quitting is the main option. Quitting is like the 99% case option. Quitting is the easiest option. Of course, it's an option. It is fate. Yes, I was working on Fallen Pass, but let me see. I'll check Slack now and see who's available from the team. At a high level, what is your definition of success for M&M? If we've got when we have a subscriber base that enables us to have enough predictable income to turn this into like a quote real company and start paying folk. Hey, Quicksana. Have I felt that way yet? About like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, should we be doing this? Oh man, do I want to do this for this project? I've definitely have those days. Definitely have those days. Then I'm like, hell yeah, this is amazing. It's just sometimes you got to like bite down on your mouthpiece and like just get through it, you know? We're working in an environment where it's very it's because I'm a loving robot. You know, there's a lot of subjective shit. There's a lot of stuff that's like you got to work out. Different folks, different ideas. You get somebody, it's like, oh, we just got this critical person that interested in joining the team, and then a day later, I can't do it. You know, like there's all sorts of stuff. You're looking at the spin to date, and it's really impressive how much you've done with such small budget. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, but that part really hasn't bothered me. It's like, all right, I had some savings. I cashed out some stock from my last company. You know, the money part doesn't bother me at all. Not being able to, you know, pay the folks and shit like that, and the fact that other people are having to sacrifice as well bothers me a little bit, right? But the goal is just to get there to where we can eventually do right by everybody. But yeah, I'd say we've only spent about 100,000. If you look at that breakdown, that was from last December. That's about a year ago. Actually, it's about a year ago, so we'd have to look again, kind of see where we're at. I honestly haven't checked the numbers in a little bit. It might just keeps coming out of the bank account. But thanks, Donna. I'm sure there are a lot of people that would donate if you let us. No strings attached. Yeah, but I'll tell you the truth on that, and it's a bit of a calculated, selfish thing. We benefit from our approach, right? Like people like the fact that we haven't taken people's money, right? That just makes sense. Any word on 10 nodes before I go on my next ramble? Dragon, we'll have to ask Nick. I don't know if they've made it in yet. So, hey, Zoidberg. So the thing is, all right, not taking any cash from people has a certain amount of value to us, just in our ability to say we haven't taken cash from people. So if we were to take cash from people, it would have to be enough cash, no strings attached, to replace the value in just base marketing terms. of not taking cash from people. Does that make sense? So when we say, hey, if you want to give us something, if you want to provide value to us, then go grab some other people, tell them what you like about the game, and get them involved in the community. That's great. Companies spend a lot of money trying to acquire customers, right? Cost of acquisition. So every time you bring us new potential customers, what is community goodwill worth? A shitload, massive amount, an insane amount, Thulon. And that is the calculation, right? It's a calculation. When people are like, so that survey, the survey we did in Discord, where people are, like, oh, what are you trying to understand here? It's like, okay, we have close to 10,000 people in Discord, which is a pretty good number now when we're comparing our Discord to other games and things like that, right? Like we can get a feel for, at least we don't know that it means anything, but okay, if we're comparing those metrics, cool. But then it's all right, how many people, and if we're like, hey, will you fill out a survey? And then we get kind of a 10% response. It's like, okay, cool. Now imagine those, that 10% gave us $15 each, but they're only going to give it to us once. Right? Everybody's like, I'll give you $15. All right, so 15 times 1,000, 15,000 minus, all right, I think we probably wind up not paying taxes on that because it's all going back out and we're still operating at a much bigger loss than that. So the 15,000 doesn't really, we can't do anything with that, unfortunately. There, it's nice because that's 15,000 or 10,000 or whatever it winds up being. Once the numbers get worked out. But then that only buys us so much. Now, sure, that is money that we could, give to somebody on a team or do something, right? Like we could buy some outsourcing, but it's not a lot of outsourcing. So now we've just taken money. The vampire has gone across the threshold. We have lost our virginity, right? Like we can't now. How do we say that? We're like, oh, but we're the team that only took the money once. That's not as snappy. It's not as good marketing wise, right? Like it doesn't roll off the tongue as easy. So it would need to be like, all right, well, if 1,000 people gave us $1,000 each, but now the probability of that happening, not very high. Because even if you just do like a base calculation of average, I'll make up a new metric. Average donation amount per active user, I guess. Right? Because there are metrics like average revenue per user and then average revenue per pay user. And so it's usually a higher average if you're looking at just the people that paid, and then you've got to distribute that across everybody, right? Divided again by everybody that was possibly available, and it becomes a smaller number. It's that kind of stuff that's like, yeah. Anyway. I don't know. Had you not seen how many Pantheon people who got early access played for most last year? They all paid 1,000. Yeah, but even then, I would say it wouldn't be worth it. All right, so if 100 people, and again, they've got a different scale of audience. They've been around for longer. Blah blah blah. But even if 100 people paid us 1,000, it wouldn't be worth it. I mean, and then you start to get into like 500 people, right? We're getting back to 1,000 people or 2,000 people pay 1,000 or something. And again, and so that's not even worth being in our mind. It's a distraction. Kind of like it's a side tangent in this chat. Like we could be playing a game or something right now. So yeah, so that's why we don't take it. That's why we don't take the money. Later on, Quicksana, yes, we really want to get the merch shop out and let people do that. The thing with the merch shop is then, you're getting something for the money. But realize, you know, the people that are then buying merch realize that like our profit margin is going to be so narrow on the merch. I mean, we'll pad it a little bit and we'll let you know how much we're padding it, but yeah. Well, you should have a box price, recoup and build some capital. We don't have a ton to recoup, but yeah, I just, we've never really, whenever we've talked about in the past, we just said we want a subscription. We just want your subscription. We'd like to do a box price when we can give you a box with cool shit in it. How about that? How difficult would it be to sell action figures on the future merch shop? In the future, I don't believe it's super difficult. The difficulty with selling stuff like that is you've got to pay up front to have them manufactured. And we don't have that cash. $15 a month's fair price, especially since there's no box price. We think so. Especially given inflation and stuff, right? Moral of the story, keep your virginity. Yep, I agree with that. Liz says, I think it's utterly refreshing. My posture's so bad. But now I'm super conscious. You guys have been saying that the audio has been too low. So now I'm like leaning at the mic and I got turtleneck. Liz says, I think it's utterly refreshing to have played for a good few hours. I mean days, and I haven't paid a bean, and I have mega respect for that. Rather than give me all your money, maybe you can play. Rather than give me all your money, maybe you can play later. Yeah, asking for money up front is just, it's not our thing. Because honestly, part of it is it's too uncertain. Well, it has been too uncertain for the years leading up to now, but now it's starting to feel pretty certain. Yeah, no, we're excited to open the merch shop to you guys, but so the merch shop may happen sooner than you think, but that's work, and as you can see, we've got a lot of work on our hands. Cool. So we'll see. One of these days the merch shop will open. All right, so I've saved my work. We're good. Let me log in. Update. Justin said, I just want to get to the point where I can have the cash flow to where I can use a credit card that I know I'll never pay off. Thanks, buddy. America's taxpayers welcome the thought. Yeah, once the merch shop's up, we'll put a shitload of the art up there. Holy download speed? I don't think it's I'm not downloading a lot, but oh, I just Germany my neighborhood just got fiber. Those guys were fun to hang out with, the guys that were installing it. Made them a bunch of coffee and just hung out all day while they're like drilling holes through shit and trying to find a way up through the apartment and stuff to get to ours. In Germany, the apartments are made of like concrete. Everything, floor, ceiling, walls, it's all like poured concrete. But it's really old, and they're in there trying to get through like just rat's nest of wires and stuff. They sparked up at least once. That was pretty sketchy. Take frame of Goblin King chilling on his throne. Love that loading screen. Goblin King. Oh, no. Orc. The orc. That's an orc. You said Goblin King on a throne, and it reminded me of the album cover of the early 2000s vanity project band Goblin Cock. Is there a particular brand of coffee that's popular in Germany? There is, but I can't name it offhand. Yeah, Goblin Cock was a pinback side project. Yep, Malays. That is the one. Yeah, I think Jacobs is pretty common here. So I wanted to play a little bit higher level dude. I think Taters is set up at level 15. Oh, I haven't looked at Tater's new armor. Jacobs. Pronounced Jacobs? No, if you really want to get technical in German, Unchained, 99. I believe it is pronounced Jakob. Jacobs. Jakob. Jak. Jak. Let me just log this guy and see what's going on with him. What was Biscuits? Level 6 Shaman. I think Taters was the last one we had in Telekir. Jacobs. Bikekeeper, you may actually be correct on that. Which reminds me, somebody earlier, not Tyson said, it was another red name. Red name, scrolling up, red name, scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling. It's off this. I thought it was a red name. Somebody said, finally got to catch the stream live, and I thought it was a name like Technical Writer. You named a tune Biscuits and it's not an ogre? Yes, Liz. Why would you name a ogre Biscuit? Tech Writer, there we go. Are you one of the tech writers that I know? That I've met in the last week? Or are you just another tech writer? How many tech writers do we have hanging out around here? You might be? Okay, cool. Twitch is banned at the office, so I never get to catch you live. Is it because of the boobies? Oh no! Am I about to die? I'm gonna run into the zone again like last time. Oh, you're right actually. This may be the zone in. Okay, let me zone out then. Good call, Sarenth. Let me stop the background music. Let me switch to in-game sound. Jurgen said my facility banned Twitch also. Not so much as watching Goblin and getting Goblin in a pick. Yeah. Do you people not have phones? Isn't that the question I'm supposed to ask? Do you not have phones? Watch on your phone. FFS. Tater's a ranger. Zukin. Taters is a ranger. So if you guys have something that will work with ranger, we may want to level up. I haven't seen Nick today. If Nick was around, or if Nick, if you're lurking, you don't even have to say it in chat here. You could maybe shoot a message. I'm wondering if we should level our characters, since Taters isn't like a 100% real character. I think he was buffed so we could test some stuff. Oh, there's Nick. Oh. Should we level up? Yeah, it's dark with no light. I heard that's not the best for streaming, but back to mom life. Thanks for streaming, sharing. Hope you all have a great weekend. Hey, Quicksana, I hope you have a great weekend as well. Hopefully we'll see you next week. That makes sense, Tech Writer. Now I know which one you are as well. Hey Tannhauser. Is the plan to continue streaming game development even after early access launches? Yep, that's the plan. Let's see. Any class requests for groups? So we got a ranger, we've got a cleric, Zukin. If he was hinting that he may come in, I don't know if he's coming in. He often plays a cleric. I thought he had asked. Oh, he made a fighter. Okay, I lied. So something that's not that, John. Guys, I'm gonna run quick bio break. The monster rehab has made its way through me, so I'll be right back. I am back. What's that caffeine and nicotine noise? No, no nicotine. I'm not allowed to smoke my pipe in the house. Options. Let's see how this goes. Um, I Shiden says, "Hey there, new here. Sorry, but I've heard of this game through friends of EQ. Do you have a personal favorite class? It's getting harder and harder. I'm a big fan of cleric and fighters. My main in EQ is a fighter, and then when I came back and played on TLP. Oh, earlier were you talking about that guy? That's a undead halfling. That's not a goblin. But when I came back, I played a cleric the whole time, up into the 50s, and really enjoyed that. But it's really hard. It's really hard to pick in here. I'm not just saying it. It's just because you get access to like class defining abilities a lot faster in our game. So I've had a lot of fun with most of the classes I've played. Speaking of which, I was thinking about this on the way upstairs to take my bio break. Let me just ask real quick. I just missed it. Let me find our Discord. Our little internal Discord. There it is. And let me see. I hop into NWC voice since it's easier to balance audio there than Slack. Dogdrin, thank you for the follow. Mokapopo says, can you do updated version of classes with Nick, like how he feels now, and are they missing something? It's funny, I missed that question, but I was thinking like, it would be cool to have Nick in here to be able to talk about classes and stuff. Let's see. Okay, now let me see if I can make it so that I'm actually, you guys are hearing those guys.
Hello?
There he is. I'll turn down the music a little bit. Well, I'll turn down the game volume a little bit, and then I'll see if I can crank you up, and then we can bounce it out. How about now?
Hello?
There he is. What about Zukin?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Might be a little quiet. Do it one more time, and I'll look at the little bars down there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. Then I can just adjust you guys as needed. Cool. Yeah. So, Nick, I was going to ask some leading questions on this, but you can also just talk about whatever you want. One of the things that just came up in chat, actually, and was what I was thinking. Honestly, when I ran upstairs to pee, Mokopopo, I was thinking about this very thing, so it's cool that you asked. Yeah, I'd be curious what's easier, if it's just kind of like the classes we're playing, if you want to kind of talk about some of the stuff that's going on with them, or big changes that have been going on, or whatever. Whatever works for you, Nick.
Well, I started working on some of the less developed classes. I felt like Fighter was in a decent spot, but still needed some cool stuff that I've wanted to get in for a long time. So there's some new Fighter abilities. And then I'm going to be turning my attention to Monk, because Monk only has like a handful of abilities so far. And after Monk, I plan on tackling Archer. So I want to get some of the, less developed classes feeling like they have kind of more of a robust kit and some options for swapping stuff out. The nature with some of these classes, though, that are not spellcasters or hybrids are going to feel maybe a little bit less sparse for a while. But I would like to get them feeling in a good spot, because the goal has been to make those kinds of classes definitely having more abilities than, say, like their EQ counterparts. Because, as you know, playing a pure melee class in classic EverQuest, at least, was a matter of like 2 to 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So
not counting disciplines.
Right. Yeah. And also, our cooldowns, I won't call them disciplines, I'm going to just call them cooldowns. You're going to be able to have multiple of those. Like, they don't share a timer like in the disciplines and EQ, so. And they're going to be available more often, so. Yeah. So there'll be a good amount of basic abilities, and there'll be a good amount of cooldowns as well.
Dragon keeps asking about 10 node.
Yeah, so we made a node placement tool recently, but I think there's some issues with it, and I think I may just go ahead and use my old kind of janky way of placing the nodes soon, because there's some other higher priority stuff that needs to get done, and I do have a way of placing nodes. It's just a little odd way of doing it, but it works. It works good enough.
How much different do you think? So, like, the stuff that's been coming online, is there a way to kind of quantify how much more in quotes you think will be coming online with the classes over the next year?
Oh, I would say, well, definitely the classes that don't have so much are going to get substantially more. And then spellcasters and hybrids and stuff are going to continue to get. Well, the hybrids will get kind of the same treatment as the pure melee classes, where they're getting more like physical ability buttons to press, and then just spellcasters and hybrids in general will be getting new spell lines periodically as I'm able to put them in.
Cool. Yeah, I know it's like a weird one to answer a little bit. It's like how do you fully quantify, like, without doing the janky marketing thing of like there will be 15 new spells or whatever, right? Like it's, oh yeah, but what does that mean, and you know which ones and all that. I know it's a weird question.
We've been developing a lot of new, like, oh, I won't say a lot yet, but we've been developing some new ability tech and buff tech that allows us to get more creative with abilities and buffs. So you'll be not only seeing like new abilities that and buffs that kind of operate off of the pre-existing conditions, but you'll be seeing new types of functionality, which allows us to create new types of abilities and buffs. So stuff like channeled abilities, and we just did a something with the drain type abilities, where we can like reference how much damage that we did with an ability, and it'll actually steal that exact amount of life, like a life drain, instead of just saying, okay, the ability does damage plus a heal to you. It'll actually drain the exact amount. So not only are we adding new functionality, but we're also kind of sprucing up some of the old functionality as well to make more sense.
Right. Yes.
Oh, by the
go ahead.
I was just gonna mention, did you see that box in
I did.
in front
I
of
was gonna ask you about it after this. I wasn't sure how much you wanted to say on it. Like, I was just gonna mention that you've been, I don't want to say hacking, but you've been prototyping some of the stuff that we've talked about in the past and getting it in. So, you want to?
Yeah. So you can right click. Are you able to right click this box and see what's in here?
Yeah, it's right here. It's hidden under the. Let me move the element that shows who's talking. It was underneath your names.
Hey Nick, what do you know what I should set my skills to at this level?
I just set my skills to 500 as like a blanket thing.
Okay.
That'll cap at whatever the cap is.
It's funny, I don't do this shit enough lately to remember all the. Thank God we've got great help commands. Doop doop doop. There we go. Do that as well. Let's see. Oh, I feel like we stopped in the middle of describing this. So this was, if you didn't mention it, like in the past we talked about like having the ability to create like stash boxes and stuff. But yeah, it's also, I guess, either whatever we implement for how we're going to handle containers and housing will probably replace the stash box, or vice versa. I don't know, but it doesn't matter because Nick figured out a way to make a stash box. So that's what we're looking at. And Nick can tell you all about it.
Yeah, so when you get, very much like the campfire, when you get a point into, I believe it's carpentry at the moment, you'll be able to create a what we're calling the storage crate at this point. The name is subject to change on that, but we plan on having like different levels of like access levels. Right now, it's you just have an individual ability for each access level, so you can create like a public storage crate or a personal storage crate, a guild one or a group one. And basically the idea is that you could just throw one of these outside of like a dungeon or whatever, and if you're doing like a corpse run or whatever, you have your backup spell book in there or what have you, and you could bind outside the dungeon, and then you're kind of you have access to that stuff. So it just encourages you to plan ahead a little bit, to kind of deal with some of those mechanics, like losing your spell book on death. And then there's just other handy things that you can do with it, like it's a little bit extra storage that you can if you don't want to go back to town yet, you could put some stuff in there and then go back in the dungeon. And then eventually when we add like pull carts or pack animals and stuff, you could maybe grab all that stuff, and kind of pull cart your goods back to town. So it's just a little thing that helps you out.
Yeah, there's the question about whether or not it was specific to the people that have access or not. My assumption is things like that'll probably be, there'll be, so things don't get cluttered, it'll probably be rules that work in that way where it's specific to certain clients and blah blah blah. But we haven't talked about it in a lot of detail.
Yeah, locks are a definite possibility. I think they're already possible to have like a lock and key for these.
And invariably, as we put stuff like this in, we'll probably be also looking at like how do NPCs interact with things and what are the risks and all that stuff. But that's all stuff that we'll talk about as we're going. Papa Blaze, thank you for the follow. And hi to folks that came in since we started talking. Hey, Chango. Hope we can steal boxes on PvP server. That would be spicy. I left a cheeky surprise in the box. Is it poop? Do we have poop? I don't know that we have poop, but I've got the feeling someone is going to add it now. I should probably, what abilities should I be looking to load? I am a level 20. I am a level 20 ranger.
Have you scribed all your spells again after leveling up?
I thought I did, but I also think that sometimes it doesn't.
Here, let me.
Like I have to. Do I actually have to aim it at a slot? I rarely do.
Yeah, I think you have to say which belt the spell book is in.
Okay.
For the spells, anyway.
I just added it for you.
Thanks. Replace wood skin with stone skin. Sense magic. Oh, I've got to put some more mud actions in with some sense magic requirements. And see invisibility requirements. Steer Beast. Well, it's not going to be that handy. I don't think it works on a Steer, right? Or does it? We'll see. Barrier.
You also have your aura that you can pop. Curious to see if that persists when you zone now.
Unity?
Or
Or Packet of Predator?
Yeah, it's on control 1.
Yeah.
That aura bar.
I am. We have. I gotta get a. I was telling Jasmine I need to buy an actual MMO mouse with more buttons on it since I'm missing my finger now. Because like Control and Shift on the left hand, it's just not a thing for me. So it's kind of a pain in the ass actually. Whereas it used to be super handy to like have stuff on Shift and Control. It doesn't work now. So I want to map like, whatever button 15 plus everything. Use that as my shift.
Oh yeah, that's a really good idea actually.
Developing in hard mode. Yes, voluntarily. Oh, I should probably. Sorry, I will occasionally stop to send messages back to my wife since she's out of town. Are we getting improved bind wound / bandages soon? It would be much appreciated with the monk tweet. XP says.
Yeah. I thought I had done something with it, but I'll have to double check that it's in fact working. I think it may also leverage skill too now, but
you need a /AFK command too.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna do like the loadouts for spells or not, because I don't know. We kind of like you actually interfacing with the book. But we shall see.
Razor Tartarus. Alright, I'll look it up. It is fate. Between coffee stuff and this, I will actually have Christmas things to put on my list this year. Razor.
I will say though, you do have the option of when you go into your spell book and click on one of the abilities to memorize, that you can issue a hotkey inscribe instantly. You don't have to like move the box over and then click on the bar. You could just press like 1, 2, 3, 4, as you click on different things. So that quality of life feature does exist. And you can obviously move abilities to different pages and stuff, so you can like organize your book.
How does So people recommending the crazy mouse you just showed me, the Tartarus. How does it work with like day-to-day use? It seems kind of big and clunky. Charm has been a hot topic lately and always. Any plans on adding a downside or tweaking its OP-ness? I think that's a you question, Nick.
Sorry, what was it?
Charm has always been a hot topic lately, and always. Any plans on adding a downside or tweaking its OP-ness?
I think mostly through the breaks and how tanky the enchanter is definitely some of the best styles that we have. Because at first we don't really, at least I haven't been reluctant to want to nerf it too badly, but I want to make sure that the weakness of charm is in the frailness of the enchanter.
Yeah.
If you have it set up like you do on the TLP, where the combat formulas are basically like kind of EQ live, then the enchanter is going to be basically a god. But that's not how it is in Monsters and Memories.
Right.
The enchanter will get wrecked, or should get wrecked, and if it's not, then we'll address it that way. And if we ultimately find that, you know, it's still feeling broken, then we can dial it back even further.
Yeah, it's a tough challenge though, right? Because Matthias was just mentioning Tangent's playthrough. The challenge seems to be if the breaks are too unpredictable, then it's kind of no fun, right? Like that was the. But was that more of? I think his concern was more the breaks were happening pretty immediately. Not that they were unpredictable, but it was also unpredictable and immediate. Was that it?
Yeah, so Chip is investigating it. My suspicion is that it can break on, well, it could break on the first tick, but my suspicion is that the first tick can occur before 6 seconds, because the way ticks work in this game, it's like based off of, sometimes it's based off of the entity rather than like a server tick. So if the tick is going to happen in the very next second for that mob, then it might break on the very next second. So Chip is going to investigate that for us.
So there's that, right? It's like, but then it gets into, I think, what McAaron's saying, which is like, once there's some predictability and unpredictability, and maybe I just wasn't listening closely enough because Jasmine just popped in. She's in Hamburg tonight, so like, hey babe. But once there's enough predictability there that you can kind of manage it either with your group or just in general through whatever you've got, tools you've got at your disposal. Once you can manage charm, then it seems like the challenge is finding a way where you don't mitigate all of that risk that is essentially the balancing point, which is like you can get splatted by your mob. So if you mitigate all of that risk, then it puts them back into, okay, what is the actual downside? And I'm curious, like, in thinking about that, what am I missing there? Because to me, that's kind of like where the formula is. because the stuff that you've added for charm, like the stuff we got in there, I haven't played it, but watching people play it it's super rad. Like it looks super cool. But it also looks really, really powerful.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a delicate balancing act, for sure. By no means do I think it's absolutely balanced yet, or it's gonna take a while. There's a number of factors at play for sure. And as you get better, as the enchanter gets better, there's gonna be certain balancing mechanisms that we need to utilize to make sure that they just never get to this point where they're in, unkillable charming machine.
Mm.
And I believe that there are ways that we can do that. But I really desire for charm to be that really thin line of risk versus reward. Like there needs to always be a risk there, otherwise the balance breaks down of it.
Right.
And we also, I'm being a lot more liberal with like issuing out no charm flags and stuff. So, like, if we make this like really cool mob that has like the sick ability on it, you won't always be able to like charm something like that necessarily, because it could break the game.
Mm.
In terms of like, oh, this is now what you do. Like, you go charm this mob that can AoE mobs or something, and like, then that also breaks it down quite quickly. So,
Right.
We want there to be like a variety of different content, and we want you to maybe have to explore different strategies for different zones and encounters and such. So we don't always want charm to be the best option.
Yeah, it's kind of watching people play, watching Tangent play. It's interesting, like some of the additional control if I was watching it right, like the benefit of like NPC abilities and things like that come into there. It looks really cool. It looks like it feels really cool. And it seems like it's a good foundation to then potentially layer in additional mechanics if we need those in order to like make it more dangerous or whatever, right? Like just off the top of my head, and I don't know that it makes any sense at all or whatever, but it's almost like if you charm certain mobs that are providing certain abilities or providing certain benefits, could there be something that's like a cumulative risk that is involved? Like the more they do that stuff, the more it becomes like a situation where, if when charm breaks, they are dead set on killing the enchanter, aren't recharmable again, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just curious how much of that would actually be worthwhile or be a pain in the ass, or like how much of that we can do.
Yeah, it's definitely a lever that we can pull, because we plan on having, or actually we added this a long time ago. I just don't think it's working, but we'll have the ability to do diminishing returns.
Mm.
So each subsequent debuff that you put on something, the timer could be reduced, and then it eventually becomes immune for a period of time. So and that's something that we need to get in for like PvP potentially, in addition to like PvP durations on buffs, debuffs.
Mm.
So it's something that we'll have available for the PvE side of things eventually, I would say.
That's exciting. Like I was saying the other day, I feel like just even the stuff that we've got in so far, it feels it's just fun to play, and not just saying that, you know. And it's encouraging to be at this point in the project and have that be the case, and then know that we've got. I mean, we've got time to keep adding to it and tweaking and iterating, and it's cool that so much feedback's already coming in and stuff too.
We zone in and start hitting a couple things. See what happens.
Yeah, let's do that. Zertram asking for a friend. He wants to know if you are hard right now. Who is your friend? Asking for a friend, huh? A friend, Zertram. Just be honest. Ask your question if you want to ask it. If you want to ask a question like that, you should just be honest. And you should say it in a sultry voice. Is it Lich? Is that Lich? Can you say he's just a friend? Can you say he's just a friend? Oh, Zertram, you. What are we working on right now? Earlier in the VOD, I was showing what I'm actually working on. I'm trying to ramp up the base population in Fallen Pass. But we're taking a little break because it's Friday, casual Friday. And got a little group going with the team, and we're playing in Telekir. Hey, hot bunnies. I feel like I'm being harassed right now. Yeah, just because my wife's out of town. She is in chat. Yes, I am hard in the David Goggins sense. Stay hard. Who's gonna carry the boats? Who's gonna carry the boats? I did get my workout in today, though. Thanks for asking. Jasmine said pineapple. I think Robot works out, so I expect his abs are quite hard. McAaron, they are. They're just under a layer of cushion. Hey, Dark Inside. Yeah, I'm building mass. I'm in my bulking phase. The last few years, the next few years are all part of my bulking phase. Wait, I'm a ranger. I don't even have to get in range. A bag of chimichangas. I didn't even know chimichangas came in a bag.
So, Tyhex has asked, what are you all working on? So,
Oh, I missed the word all. I just thought it was all about me, as usual. Please.
Zikin, what are you working on?
What are you working on?
Is it secret? Hold on, let's do a secret. Is it a secret?
I'm sort of on vacation this week. My brother's having a wedding tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So, but after that, I need to go through all the characters and finish the Cape update.
Cool.
And then after that, I'm not sure. There's probably some secret stuff in there.
John, what are you working on?
John Ines. Is he talking and I just don't have him turned up? Has he been talking this whole time?
So
He's
he's
very
lower
quiet.
than normal, and then I don't think he has the best microphone. I've been thinking about that.
I've turned him
I
up
have to-
25%. Also, he's Canadian, so that's like a thing.
I got one alpha on me. Okay, it's off of me.
Bertram, thank you for the follow.
While John is fixing his mic, I'll say that I've been working on a number of things. Some of it's kind of secret stuff. A little bit of crafting, a little bit of faction and population work. Definitely some class stuff, and there's got to be something else. A little bit of trait work, but yeah, just kind of a mixed bag.
Tech writer, I'm not saying Canadians are bad. I'm saying Canadians are quieter because you're such wonderful, polite people. Yeah, speaking of, I don't think we're going to have an update at the end of this month. I mean, you know what? We might be able to do an update within the first weekend if I put it together. I don't know, Nick. I'll get with you tomorrow and we'll see if we think an update's doable or if we just want to do another bi-monthly. Because I'm gonna be out of town starting next Thursday for the weekend.
There is a lot of cool stuff being worked on. You know, maybe we do the 2-month cadence. And
Yes. That makes sense. Zukin, let me know when your damage shield drop.
All right. I got 7 minutes left, so
Is Nick going to drop an update on any class changes he's working on? He's been talking about it a little bit. I forgot I
You
had
never
kids.
know. You may be able to see some of them in this very stream. But I'm kind of holding off a little bit just to... There's a couple things that I want to get fixed for it.
would you prefer I not use certain things on?
Oh no, definitely use it. Let's see how see the detective work of chat.
Chat is very good at figuring things out, though. That was another thing. The several of the applicants for the editor/writer role really dug through like VODs and available information, got a lot of details out. Thought that was really neat to see in action. That's literally the first time that I've used that in that way. So XP, thanks for the reminder. Probably use auto. I am not using kick at all. There we go. Yeah, today North American West Coast. So basically when I wake up in the morning, I will turn off the editor role. If Nick thinks about it this evening, you can turn it off in Discord as well. We've had 15 submissions so far, assuming that there aren't any waiting on me when we're done here. So thanks everybody that submitted for the role. So gone through all of them as they've come in. And yeah, definitely some great stuff in there. We'll let people know, you know, there's 15 of them, so I don't know how much detail go on each one in terms of feedback, but I'll try to give at least a little bit of feedback. But since we've got 15, we had one roll. You know how that math works out. But one of the things we may do is, you know, there will be future rolls of different types. If I had to guess, something's liable to pop up, and we'll also be looking in the future, we'll have a better handle on how many folks we'll be looking for, but we'll also be looking for GMs at some point in the future as well. And for folks that were hoping to use that editor writer role as a way to kind of get your foot in the door of like game design, if it makes sense for you, I would say keep an eye out for future GM positions, because I got my start in the industry through customer service. It's a great way to get exposure to the development team, to the issues that players are having with the game, which inherently teaches you what not to do or what should be fixed and stuff like that. So that may be an option as well. The John Cena reference is 5 head. Well, that's John for you. He's very clever. Are the game sounds good enough for you guys? Oops, I'll do that one. Y'all are chewing through these mobs. Are you testing or messing? This guy cons green to me, so I think we're just chewing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, these mobs are green. They're taking a little bit to get through.
Yeah, with that in mind, with the fact that they're green in mind, that's not bad on the, oh, this is going too fast kind of.
They're not like super green, like they're maybe 5 levels below us, 6 levels. I'm curious to see how it feels once we get to a slightly higher level stuff. Oh, we got 2. They're blue con. Are you wearing copper armor?
Yes. Should I have gotten the leather stuff from that guy?
No, the copper's
Actually,
fine.
Okay. I did grab some from him, but I kept the copper.
Add.
Yeah, sit aggro is one of the things we still need to address. It's a little too aggressive at the moment. You can kind of force the mobs to kind of ping pong like really easily.
Are Telecure factions working yet? I mean, they're on a faction. So, yes, unless I'm missing the intent. Nick ever gonna stream with his beast of a rig he has now? He said he would.
There's a possibility. feeling so tired lately. I don't know what it is.
Season change.
But the factions in Talakir, they've been being worked on. The actual like what faction is given out when you like kill mobs and stuff, I think that needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
Again, just to make sure. And when you complete quests potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the feeling there are going to be some passes. Oh shit, that just reminded me. I almost forgot. Okay. Let me check. Speaking of faction. Sorry, distracted.
Was that Sidegro just there?
Pretty sure it was. The heel ticked, and then I also sat down, I think.
XD said the Mez spell effect and animation are really great in this game. Makes it easy to understand which mobs are affected. Yeah. Love the way it looks. Especially on the skeletons, they go super slack-jawed.
Oh, this is a red con.
Yes, it is. Circular Infinity, thank you for the follow.
I used my cooldown on you. This one's loose. Got damage shield, Zukin?
Negative.
I should have asked, sorry. I meant to ask about a minute and a half ago.
I'm gonna need you to feed me mana, probably, John, after the next mez. Save some mana for mez, though. Yeah, you could probably give me some more mana again.
I guess putting on my defensive stance might help too, right?
Yeah, that'll help.
That'll help. Cool.
And using your debuffs.
Yeah. It's just I think I had the stance on before we zoned in, and I probably just stick between zone.
We got that down just in time. Both of the cleric and enchanter's mana is kind of shot here.
I guess we'll see how well defensive stance works.
Let's just med through the. Oh, never mind. It should be fine. No, this one's green.
Yeah, we got this.
I was gonna try to fear kite them. Worst case, do they qualify as beasts?
Don't think so.
Probably don't, do they?
But
Because they're intelligent.
it might be cool if it was like a hybrid approach where you could like have multiple flags or something. I don't know.
Fun.
Yeah,
That
that was a
felt
nice
good.
challenge. That felt like it could have potentially gotten out of hand, so that's nice.
I'm really, really pleased with the. Okay, so I don't know if did I even make this public, or I think I did. I may have talked about this, but I rebalanced the healer unique lines. So the problem was, especially even in this case, last time I was here on like a level 20 cleric, I would have to kind of spam my healer unique spell because it was healing for not very much, and the mana cost wasn't that high, but it was still the most efficient heal that you could use. So you basically kind of spammed it. But now it costs a lot more mana, but it heals a lot more. So it's more about the timing of it, making sure you're not overhealing, and the heal ratio, mana to heal ratio is the same, but you need to wait until the tank is lower on health to get the most bang for your buck. So it could get a little bit dicier if you're not casting that on time. But yeah, it's feeling a lot better, at least from my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with all these new abilities, I'm having to actually like pick now what I on my bar.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I felt that on Rogue, which felt nice. Rogue is probably the most fleshed out of the... Well, Rogue and Fighter are both kind of... But Rogue had a lot of options, and it feels nice to have to pick and choose even on one of those physical melee classes, or just physical damage class. Pure melee, pure physical.
Yeah, I think there should be enough so you can like do a full build in a particular specialty, like damage or defense or utility or whatever else. It's
Well,
like a almost like a specialization. Be kind of cool.
I-
And
I
then
l-
it makes sense
sorry.
to have multiple fighters or rogues or whatever for them doing different tasks and things.
I like that it's a la carte, though. You know what I mean? Like, as there's more of that, like, to your point, if there's more stuff there where it becomes even more of a feel as it's, if you happen to load up on those specific things, right? Like, you have the option to go one direction or another so that, like, multiple classes stack well or whatever. But the idea of it being a la carte so that you're kind of, is what I'm saying making sense, as opposed to like clicking a button and like, okay, I've got all this now instead of that, or going down a specific path so that I'm all this instead of that. Like, just what I decided to put in, my ability loadout or my at that time is what it is, right? So I could be A, or I could be B, or I could be a combination of A and B, or you know what I mean? Like, that feels, I don't know. I kind of feel like that seems neater, because
Yeah, like...
you got
Go
more
ahead.
options. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so restrictive. Go ahead.
Yeah, and yeah, there's some interesting selections. Like we were talking about the Rogue, like the Rogue has a sprint cooldown, and like, yeah, sure, it's great to have on your bar in case shit hits the fan or whatever. But if you're playing more of a kind of like playmaker rogue and polar rogue, it'd be really nice to have that on your bar to get out of like a sticky situation or what have you. Whereas if you're in a relatively safe maybe you're in a group that's by a zone line and you don't need sprint, then you can easily slap something else on there quite easily. And yeah, it's just having different options and being able to flex between them it feels good. I'm gonna have to rebuff, so I might have to med a little bit again, but I'll just buff Zukin and myself. Oh, I can hit everybody with the pet as well.
Oh my gosh. Dude. So, this guy's a halfling, obviously. And I got sneak. And I just swapped out one of your fancy, I don't know if I need to keep it a secret or not, but one of the warrior abilities for sneak. Because it makes more sense in this particular situation. Sneak around inside there. Beat the other one.
Perfect timing with the examples, Zukin.
Yeah. Theory in action.
Is sneak not on your like aura bar thing?
It is not.
Okay, that's
I needed to put it on my spell bar.
I forgot if I had set it up like that. I think that might be the case.
Yeah, because it's sneak and not stealth, and I'm not a rogue, right? It's
yeah.
Unless it's different for rogue, but as a trait, I guess it would be an ability.
Alright, I should be good on mana, so... Oh, we got some repops here, too. Blue and a green up there.
Okay, there were, where are they at? Oh, shoot. I didn't see them.
There's one ability I definitely never used, the one you needed to be in stealth for, measures in like 4 seconds, but has a long cooldown. His fate says. So this guy's blue to me, for those of you curious. Where did we pick up that red earlier? Was it patrolling somewhere around here?
It was inside the building we're next to. I was running around in there. There's 2 more of those guards. They're both red, so.
This guy's green to me.
We have a campfire, right? We just can't see it. I think there's a bug. You need to reload to see the campfire. But I also kind of don't want to reload because I think there might be a memory leak associated with the reload. So...
Yeah.
Should probably head down this way rather than going inside that building. Unless we want to try those reds, but I feel like we'd be better if we had a full group for that kind of thing.
Should probably avoid the reds, yeah. It's not worth.
Green to me.
300 seconds. How long is that? Is that
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay.
Thoughts on Rangers getting some sort of group buff interaction with campfires? What are you picturing, XP?
Uh-oh.
Pelican B Sinker,
Uh-oh.
thank you for the follow.
Uh-oh. I'm blind. I'm
Oh,
on the
shit.
Mystic.
Nerd. Oh. I should probably give you poison protection. Oops, why'd I hit kick for no reason?
Put cure poison on my bar. And cure blindness.
A little late on that.
Yeah, the thing that feels nice about this
Oh.
healer unique line change, especially for the cleric, is I feel like there's so many more actions that I can perform between my heals.
Mm.
I read this huntsman as hamster. Sure, a hamster.
Would you please make us a hamster, Dukin?
And we need we're gonna probably want some little critters and stuff, like bunnies and other things like that. I'm gonna kill the huntsman.
We have been live for 2.5 hours, but we've only been playing for maybe an hour?
Yeah, the shaman hots have changed as well as the druid heal, unique heal.
Pelican B Sinker said, thanks, been following your work for some days now. Keep it up. You and your team are awesome. Hey, thank you. The team is here with us tonight as well. Not the whole team. The whole team's actually like 30 people now. It's crazy. Some of us are. Dogdrin said, can you elaborate on the hot changes, Nick?
So what I said earlier was basically that, and this especially felt true for the cleric one, is that I felt that I was kind of just spamming it instead of using it tactically. And in earlier builds of the game, you would use it more tactically as well. It would heal a larger amount and it costs more mana. Actually, I think back then it just healed a lot and didn't cost a lot of mana either, so it wasn't that balanced. Actually buffer that heal in case this one doesn't go off. But yeah, anyways, hold on a second. Is this? Oh, this is green. Okay, we should be fine. So I don't want it to be really spammy, and I want it to heal more, but be more costly. So if you're just spamming it willy-nilly, you'll go out of mana a lot faster. But if you're utilizing it correctly, it should feel really strong as well. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to make it more tactical on how you use it, and more rewarding if you use it properly, and more punishing if you are using it incorrectly. So far, this is the first time I've got to play with it, and it's feeling really nice, actually. Yeah, the hot duration is going to be 24 seconds. It's still the same. In fact, the health per mana or ratios didn't even change. It's just it's the same. Just higher mana cost and more healing done.
Yeah, we're having fun. Welcome back, Terrence. Shiden, yeah, it has come a long way since the little capsule dudes. Oh, Pattis isn't out there, is he? Are we ready for the eco test in a few weeks? Yeah, excited about that. Evercraft Online, if you use the command eco here, you'll get a link. Hidden Tree and his crew are really great guys.
We're more than ready. Look at
Evercraft Online design document. What? Oh, I'll take it. Can't get out of it.
If I wanted,
press escape maybe.
Yep.
I'm all decked out on all my abilities, and I don't have a space for a range thing too. So even if I wanted that, I'd have to drop something else. So it's you're making me sweat now. All the stuff I have to
What did you say?
manage on the warrior.
Making you what, Zukin?
Sweat.
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 Okay. I was like, damn, what's
Pulling-
going on tonight? I know it's Friday, but come on, guys. Asking me if I'm hard. Zukin's over there getting misty. Thank God everybody that watches this is like at least 35 years old. So, but now I've got to worry. Nick was when we were visiting Nick in Chicago. Nick's mom was like, "I've watched the stream." I'm like, "Oh no, oh no! What did you see?" No, Nick's mom. What got said? She was so awesome. She was like, the profanity was appropriate. I was worried it might not happen, Nick, but we got the boiled peanut kit through customs.
Oh, beautiful. Good. You just took
Yeah.
a nice little chunk there.
Sorry, I'll save my kick
This is a
for...
red con.
Oh, this is a red, yeah.
Moonburst
You know,
coming
we may
in.
get-
Okay.
We may get repops at some point. You want to pull this back slightly over here, where I'm standing?
What are your thoughts on taunt sharing cooldown with other things? Because right now I have taunt and some of these shouts on the same cooldown.
Ooh. Good deal.
Gotta definitely revisit them, but I think I'm okay with some of it because I don't want it to be a thing where you're mashing like all the buttons, like a couple buttons, a few buttons even. I think it's fine, but
Got an ad coming up here. Is it meant to be reactive or proactive? Because like it does generate like a value, a hate value, right? So I can keep hitting it and kind of stay above you guys on the hate list, correct?
taunt? Are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think you're dying to damage shield, by the way. I just realized. I'm gonna have to heal you. I'm gonna need some mana, John. Mob's trying to heal, by the way. Nice charm. I'm gonna... Oh. It's running, that's good. Hopefully it doesn't run too far.
Man, he's got the spirit. Speed of the wild, I should say. Got ads, I think.
Yeah, I think we gotta run.
Oof.
Come this way with me.
Shit, she's dead. Hash browns, well, put your sneak to use, I guess. This is gonna hurt. Well then. That is, that's how it goes. You don't need a bunch of overly complex systems to ensure that occasionally shit gets out of hand.
Hope y'all put a spellbook in the thing.
The sacrifice of just chanting will not be forgotten.
Or like just dead.
just laying there. Just corpsing. Nick, is the intent for monk to be unarmed or monk specific weapon? I like the visuals of unarmed, but I hate missing out on the stat.
Good question. And I could see it being a thing where maybe we add some fist weapons too. But right now, I mean, it's kind of intended where, you know, you just kind of, if you want more damage and fists are doing more damage at that level than the weapon you have, then you go with fists. If, you know, you have some kind of weapon that's, you know, either more damage or brings some kind of utility or stats that you desire, and maybe you make that trade-off, then you'd use weapons. But yeah, maybe we have some kind of fist weapon so that you can kind of benefit from stats or some kind of utility while you're using fists.
We have the claws so far. We can make some more stuff.
Hash browns, how many hit points do you have? Like 600 or something? 500?
Do you still have a charm pet? Something silly's going on over here.
Zukin, how many hit points do you have?
Max 518 right now. Unbuffed.
Okay.
I'm just a corpse here. I can't respawn.
Ooh. You've been like that the whole time?
I closed out a couple times trying to fix it, but I just keep coming back as a corpse.
Gotcha. Does the reload fix it?
Or to do anything.
Must be the hardcore server or something.
Hmm. No respawn for you.
Looks like John's having the same problem.
Uh-oh. Are you guys planning to add mounts? We are, Ramby. We are.
None of my commands do anything at all.
Reload didn't fix it.
Reload doesn't do anything. It has no
What
effect.
What if you zone?
I just tried that. I tried to like slash kill this Shira. It just doesn't read anything I'm doing.
Hmm.
And they want to playtest.
Yeah, see? This is why we're not doing a playtest, guys.
Well, I'm not sure if there's much remediation for you guys. I tried to summon you. If zone didn't work, you could try like reloading the zone.
Yeah, I was just wondering with that.
is where we need an Ali Dalt.
Yeah. Time to roll a new character. Unless it's this is the NWC equivalent of your key card doesn't work anymore. So yeah, Zukin, by the way. Been meaning to tell you, but we needed a tank, so we were just gonna wait until that. Did you try for I'm looking up to party chat before everything went chaotic. Did that root break Mez? I don't know. That's a good question, John. What I noticed when I tried rooting something earlier was I forgot that Rangers got auto fire at distance. And so I think with auto attack on and me tabbing over to like root something, I was rooting something that you were mezzing and
Can you let me know when you do the reload, just in case?
I did the reload, yeah.
Okay, nothing did anything on my end, so I mean, I fell into a pocket dimension or something. I saw this Ashira killed another Ashira as if it was like a charm pet or something. I don't know. There's something really weird is going on.
I think if charm breaks and like a mob will still be pissed off and just kill it. Or try to kill it.
how many times have you restarted your client, Zukin? Twice. Try it
I
at
can't even
least.
con this dude.
Try it at least 3 more times.
Okay.
I'm serious.
I'll close the launcher out too. Maybe that's the trick.
We could potentially try some new characters, or how late are you planning on going, Sean?
Well, if not that late, I don't think. It would actually be fortunate timing if Zukin can't figure it out, then we might call it. Though I mentioned I might go late. But Jasmine's getting ready for bed as well. So I can either yeah, I'm on the quarter pipe right now, you shoes. This is exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, so let's see if Zukin can get back in, then I will just send Jasmine a goodnight text. If Zukin can't get back in, then we may call it.
I mean, I could just make a new guy. Doesn't take that much to just, load up on stuff again.
Oh, I hit the down.
I'm okay with calling it. I mean,
Yeah.
I got some stuff. I gotta go somewhere after this. So.
Okay. You know what? Then let's do that. But still, I'd be curious to see if you can get it to be fixed. Zukin.
I pop back in and same problem. I'm logging into a different character right now to see if I can jump from one and then back to the guy, and if that does anything.
Okay.
And if nothing changes, then I don't know.
Okay.
The character's worked.
Well, I appreciate you guys on the team hopping in on this. It's a lot of fun when we can hang out and chat. It's a lot more fun for chat too, I think. It's a good opportunity.
If anyone else has any questions, I could answer for maybe a few minutes.
Yeah, that'd be good. Sorry for coughing into the mic all night. Guys, you've got Nick here answering class questions and stuff. Don't miss the opportunity. Because you're going to ask me on Wednesday or whenever and be like, I don't know, ask Nick. Go into Discord.
You can ask class questions, trade skill questions, any questions. Might not be able to answer all of them, but
Yeah, I think hash browns is hash dead.
Oh no.
I
We'll
can't
recover. It's not
go on
tonight.
without me.
No.
I like waffle fries better.
Dude, hash browns are great though.
They are.
Dice covered and smothered. Mm.
I'm not a huge fan, but I just wanted a name that went with taters. A whole like breakfast crew.
Nice. Speed round. Did Archer get more abilities? Are you going to balance the Enchanter's Charm so it's not? Oh no, we covered that one. Pelican Beast Thinker. Sorry. If you check out the VOD right after I pop off here, about an hour, like basically when we're sitting here, getting ready to go in, like an hour in, there's a lot of discussion of the charm topic.
When's brewing getting added? It wasn't on the top of my list for trade skills to add yet, but hopefully soon. Did Archer get more abilities? Not yet, but I gave the fighter some more abilities, and then my next target is Monk, and after Monk is Archer. And that should all happen pretty rapidly. It shouldn't take a very long time or anything.
How are you planning on implementing mounts? Are they going to be an ability like WoW, or other games more like a pet? They're going to be more like a thing in the world. A little bit more like maybe closer to Black Desert Online. Yeah. Not an ability.
Pelican, yeah, we did talk about that earlier. The TLDR is we're gonna make the Enchanter pretty flimsy. Mobs really dangerous, and charm breaks and NPC flags, no charm flags and stuff. So just go back in the VOD. There's a lengthier section on it.
Oh, in checks, the hope is to also have your mount be killable. Just one more thing to leave a corpse in the world. And good luck dragging that heavy sumbitch. Are you going to add a reward for the third rogue quest? We have a bullet on our things to do, like check all of the quests and make sure they've got like third rewards and stuff. And then also for the rogue one, Nick and I were talking about that the other day. I was like, I know there's the note to contact like Nick or Sean about adding a reward, and I have to dig in and actually see where that is, because I could have sworn there's a reward. But
And every time you guys point that out, I feel guilty and bad about it. So I know I think Fate was in the chat and had completed the quest and mentioned it. So I apologize.
yes, Justin Beard, it will be a highly sophisticated coffee market sim added. Ollie's gonna do it. The plan, but the intent behind wagoneering is to add the ability for there to be wagons.
Yeah, actually, I'm open to having one of those off the cooldown, but I could see some of them sharing a cooldown as well. So you'll have at least 2 damage buttons, potentially, that aren't on the same cooldown. Oh yeah, we know about that, about the illusion thing. Yeah, we know about that.
Yeah, the illusions are a little wonky right now. For all of them, whenever you you use an illusion, at least to another race. And then you like change your gear up, it like reloads your body, and then for whatever reason it doesn't do the face right, because the head and the body are two separate like material IDs, and it's reloading the body, but it's not reloading the face properly for whatever reason. That's something that's kind of a lower priority fix that we'll get to at some point later, hopefully.
What about a chance they don't trigger the cooldown? What about a chance that one of them resets a cooldown? Not saying that will be the case for the monk, but it might be the case for another class. You'll see though. But maybe for the monk too. Or other classes.
Cool. All right. We're hitting the 3-hour mark. I'm going to see if Jasmine's still awake at the hotel. Give her a call, say goodnight. I am going to wrap up for the weekend then, and I will see you guys either Monday or Wednesday, or maybe both, because Thursday, Friday through Sunday I'll be out of town again next week. But then after that, my schedule should be pretty normal and consistent for a while. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here. It's fun. Thanks for asking a bunch of questions. Thanks team for being here.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me on the stream.
We'll try to do this more. Especially now that you're available more, Nick. That'd be awesome to do. So you start.
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking about that would be really fun to do one of these days is with the multi-stream stuff that's floating around, and I think some of it's even built into Twitch now. It'd be really cool to get like a whole group together of us and all of us streaming, so people could watch from any point of view they wanted to.
Yeah, it'd be fun to try it out. I haven't even looked at any of that, so you have to walk us through it.
Oh, yeah, it's super easy. Just need the bodies.
We could definitely provide you with body.
R.I.P. hash browns.
Hard body.
Hard
Are
and
you
sweaty
hard?
bodies.
Are you hard right now? Who comes into chat? Who comes into a chat like this and asks, "Are you hard right now?" Of course. Look at what we're doing. How can you not be excited? All right. So on that note, I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. Chex, have a great weekend. I don't think I've ever pronounced your name out loud. You're relatively new here, no? Or have you been lurking? Texas? Texas. All right. You're Texas. XV, good night. Bill, see you. Stay safe, buddy. Later. General Matthias. Tech Writer, who I totally don't know who it is, but I do. Good seeing you in here. Pelican, good to meet you. Thanks again for the follow and for the questions. Eastan, have a great weekend, brother man. Let's see. Theron. Yep. We'll let Robert know. Everybody is hoping for him to get his cold out of the way. Get back to making some great music for us now that his tour is up. Justin Beard, see you, buddy. Indo, yeah, sorry. Definitely check the VOD though. Is this live going to be available so I can watch it from the start? It will be on Twitch and it'll be a while as always for YouTube. Sorry about that, but it's on Twitch for sure. See you, McAaron, Chili Sauce, Meek. Oh, there's a link to the VOD right there. Nonal, see you. Death by Gnomes, good night. Y Doubler. Liz Biscuits, see you, lady. You Shoes, Dragon, goodbye. All right. If I missed anybody, sorry about that. Cool. I'm gonna push the button now. Good night. Have a great weekend.